Cybertruck interior just got a little sexier.
Today I'm going to be putting in some ambient lighting that's supposed to run here along the top of my dash. I got this from Hansshow. I think it should be a pretty simple, pretty quick installation. So let's go, see what we got. All right, so here's the box opening. Let you see exactly what we got. So we got a little Hansshow sticker, got a little QR code, got some directions, tutorials, and then we got our package full of stuff. So let's break down and see what we got in here. So inside that little bag, you really have 6 main little parts. So you're gonna have the light strip itself. You're gonna plug that into this, which is gonna plug into a USB. So you have this little clear part. You can also turn it off and on from here. Next, you have this little device here. So this is gonna be kind of like a T. You're gonna power in, power come back out of it. But this is what's going to send signal back to where your phone will work with it to turn your phone off and on. You have the USB connector. So obviously this is going to go into a USB of some kind, and then the plug itself that we just had is going to go into this. Then you have this little tool, which I don't really see us using this today, but then you have this. But then last, you do have double stick tape, which is you're going to need this to stick along the dash, and then your light's going to stick to this. So we'll start with sticking this on first. Okay, so where exactly are you going to put the tape? So if you notice here, you already have your ambient lighting way down low. So I don't want to compete with that. So I'm going to be sticking it here on the roof of this. Now, if you feel with your finger, you'll feel like this first little 1/4 inch is going to be vinyl. Then just underneath that is going to be like a little bit of plastic.
I felt like the best course of action was putting this down very softly first, just to get it all the way down. If I pushed too hard, my finger wanted to stick to it a little bit. But once I got it spread all the way out, then I pushed really hard just to make sure it stuck, and that made it easier to pull the tape off the other side, which I'm doing now. And then it was just a matter of sticking the little light strip to that. Honestly, very simple. I tried to balance between getting it stuck underneath that lip, but also far enough out where I could still see the light. Then I got the little trim tool that was included, tucked the little remaining wire down beside the little white vinyl and into this little edge piece of the dash, which I popped out slightly before pushing back into place. Now the directions did warn several times, be very careful not to bend the little piece next to the LED light right here. Once you get this far, you're left with this little male cord that you're going to plug into the female on the little clear USB we have here. These are going to push right in. Now you just have to plug this into a USB. I've just tried this out, and I'm convinced the best place to put this is literally here inside your glove box. Let me show you. All right, so I'm going to take everything out, including my little Cybertruck portfolio, and way back in here, there's your little Cybertruck style USB. At least that's what I have. Pull this out. That's what you got. That's where this little USB extension is going to come in handy. So on the back side of this, which is kind of cool, this rotates. Now you're going to want to put this in, but you're going to face it this. If you put it this way, it's going to hit and the glove box is not going to show. All right, so now you got this little clear stub and you have the little USB extender, but you're not going to put these right in yet because you don't want to forget about this, which is the remote control, which is how you're going to change your colors in the first place. Now, if you don't put this in, it will still work. Let me show you real quick. You'll just have to hit the power button to cycle through. So if I put this in here, and I plug this in, you can see my red lights up. So I'm just going to press the power button. It just changes through the colors. So you're going to see I got green there, blue, there's kind of like a white, then there's the multicolor, there's the running multicolor, there's the running backwards multicolor, there's kind of like a little dance, looks like we're purple, we're kind of hit and miss. Then there's off. Then you start back over again with the red. I'm going to plug this into the USB. Like so, and then I'm going to plug the USB into this, and this will give me control where this will now speak to my phone. I'm just plugging this back into the outlet just like I had it a minute ago. Here's a look at it up close, what it looks like in there. You can see it's just kind of tilting slightly down. Once I'm done with the video, I'm going to zip tie these all in, but for now we're just going to put them in there to show you they work. And even with all this put in here, I can still take my little portfolio, put it back in here in the top, and it still shuts fine. Sure enough there, go box out, box open, it shuts just fine. You're not bothering anything with that like that. You can see, still got all my lights, everything's on and powered up. I have a little mat behind, still works. Got the C9 screen, still fits. And I got my little phone holder, all that still fits. Now real quick, I'm gonna walk you through the app, show you how to download it, and show you how it works. And to get ahead of a potential question, it does go off when you turn the car off. When you open the door, as I just did, you see it activates and turns that LED on. Next, you're going to need the Magic Lantern app, which you can get by scanning the QR code on the little clear USB. That's going to open up to a section like this. You're going to click on, then it's just going to download your app. Then just like any app, there's a series of permissions you'll have to accept. Now in the top left corner opens up a little thing that says My Devices. That's how you're going to set up the Bluetooth. Of course, a few more permissions, again, just like you always would. Then it opens up to the basis of the app.
All right, so everything's in, looking good. I am going to come back after it gets dark a little bit later this evening and kind of give you that full walkthrough, because I think you really need to see it at nighttime to get how brilliant and how bright and really how astounding it is. I'm looking forward to it myself.
One quick note for best results, if you'll use the little settings to adjust your total pixels to 210, that'll give you your best results. So here it is at night. This is my phone. And as you can see there, you have like this giant palette where you can choose just about every color on the spectrum, all your brights, blues, greens, yellows, and I'll show you how you can actually down below select exact colors like your reds, your greens, and blues, but really it's any color you can imagine. The next part here I'll show you is actually how you can play music and it'll move to the music of the phone. And just to give you a few examples, these are just some default ringtones that were on my phone that it came with, but you can download anything you want and then your app will be able to play it and then the music will dance along with it. And it has a mic setting that lets you play music to actually echo to your voice or other music in the car.
As always, if this is something that you are interested in yourself, use my channel name, CARisma, when you're purchasing this from the link down in the description below from the Hansshow site. And you'll get somewhere between 18 and 20% off, whatever that maximum discount is. Use that as a promo code at checkout. Thanks for watching as always. See you in the next video.